this is the next jar I'm going to do. This one didn't get contaminated with trick, but it did get contaminated with something. It was really loose in the jar, like the grain almost had a jello-like consistency to it, and that whatever it was colonated the whole jar. And then I was like, and I could see a little bit of mycelium, but not much. So I decided, why not? Let's do a jar shake. And then a couple of weeks later, it seems to have colonated with the mycelium. Like the mycelium in the end won the battle. Or maybe it was mycelium in the first place and it was just growing weird. So whatever it is, it's found its new home outside. This one I'm scared to smell. I'll smell the lid. That doesn't have a smell. It's the same sour smell everything else has had. Let's get it out. That was way easier to get out than the trick or the toucan jars were. And it's definitely mycelium that won the battle. Curious about that sour smell that hit me. Do another layer of this substrate I've had in this tub. And all of the grain jars I'm putting in this patch were colonated with the same liquid culture syringe. So it's not going to be two different strains of mushroom trying to compete for the same nutrition. You can do that with live culture, like inoculate multiple jars and then put all of them in the same monotub, or yeah, like this, or the ground. But if you have a spore syringe and you inoculate multiple jars with the same syringe, it's not actually the same mushroom growing in that, or mycelium growing in the grain jar. Every time two mushroom spores meet, they create new genetics, which is pretty cool if you ask me. All right, this is the last jar. And just looking at it, it doesn't look contaminated at all. It looks fine. But I did find a spot, or a few spots now. When I first discovered it, it was just this little spot right here. So I immediately removed it from the area where I had the other jars colonizing, and it looks like it spread pretty quick. At first I wasn't sure what it was, but now I see that it's trick. And I don't know if you can hear the guy next door chopping at his trees. It's finally warm again in Texas, at least this part of Texas. So everybody around the neighborhood is getting out and taking care of stuff that they couldn't during the winter. as well as me. So it's actually really nice to hear people out here. And I don't know if this blocks enough of the background noise, but we'll find out. But if it doesn't, I'm not mad or anything. Now this one looks like it should have that earthly, godly aroma, but unfortunately it doesn't. But it was pollinating real good. Look at how healthy that mycelium in there is. This is the last jar, and I'm going to keep it clumped up like that. I'm not going to spread it out like I did the other jars. Okay, that's all the jars and all the substrate, and now we wait.